Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today we are saying goodbye to Tier 7 Algérie and we are going to be moving on to the Tier 8, but first let's take a quick look at replay at the Algérie. And I have to say, I'm going to kind of miss this ship, but at the exact same time I'm definitely looking forward to moving on. We are playing on Trident. We have a Rujo, Colorado, New Mexico, Bayern, 2 Congos, Algeria, Cleveland, a Perth, Omaha, Akatsuki, and a T-22. On the enemy team, there is a Independence, Colorado, a Bayern, a Fuso, Texas, Konig, a Pensacola, Cleveland, a Konigsberg, Verotaka, Kidov, and a Blishkovika. And so the enemy team does have more cruisers compared to us, while we have more destroyers. So that is something to keep in mind. Now, the Algérie is a support class ship. Should not be pushing in quite heavily. That's why you kind of see me taking a little bit further path away, just making sure I don't get instantly focused on. We do have a Perth that is pushing in. Now, the Perth is a premium British cruiser, if memory serves me. I might be wrong with that. Actually never tried it. Its unique thing is it lays down a very long puff of smoke, and we get a citadel on that Konigsberg, so that is a good demonstration that the AP is pretty decent. And you can see my tactic is pulling away and kiting any enemy fire, but fortunately it looks like no one's actually focused on us. So yes, the Perth is pushing in. Unique thing about the Perth is the long chain of smoke it sends out. By the exact same time, it doesn't actually stick around. So change over to HE, open up on this Texas, get some decent amount. Now the AA is alright. As you can see, we have shot down a plane, trying to help them out, but not really getting good damage. Now it's nothing compared to like a USN cruiser like the Pensacola, or even the Stores. I think the Stores has somewhat decent AA, if memory serves me. It's been a little while since I played that. It looks like the Texas is opening up with high explosive, and as usual, the French cruisers have horrible rudder shift, or horrible rudders, that they will almost instantly get knocked out if ever high explosive hits that area. So that's kind of one bad thing about running the, I guess, unique consumable, where it increases your duration on your engine boost, but at the exact same time that engine boost is very welcome. As you can see, we still have over 3 minutes of engine boost, and looks like we are attracting the attention of the Cleveland. He is pulling away. Cleveland's not as good as it used to be. It's still not a bad ship, but the loftiness of the shells really makes it a little bit difficult to actually land on target. But that fire that's on that Texas was burning quite nicely, and is still burning quite nicely, but I think I'm actually going to pull away. There's no reason to chase down this Cleveland. The enemy team is not really being hyper aggressive at sea. We do know that the Blishkovika is over at sea. Obviously there is a puff of smoke sitting there, so that is one thing to be concerned about. Pensacola showing us a broadside. We only have high explosive ready. And look at this. This was just a luck. Just only took 60 points of health off and killed that Pensacola. So that's our very first kill of the game. Wasn't a purpose kill. Like, we were not kill stealing on purpose. And right now I am using defensive AA, try to chew up these fighters as much as possible. Try to help our friendly CV against them. Obviously, the fighters are going against the torpedo planes, and there is Blishkovika very close to our Bayern, and trying to help out as quick as possible. HE on the French cruisers are pretty good. There we go. Took out the enemy Blishkovika, but unfortunately the Bayern just took a pretty big hit from some torpedoes and just went down from the Texas that is just spewing HE. I don't think he actually changes shell types at all. But so overall, this is kind of how you want to be playing the French cruisers. They're not hyper aggressive. Their armor does not allow it. Just kind of sitting further back, using that range to your advantage and that speed to get around the map, just to spew out high explosive as much as possible. Our team's not doing so hot. We've lost 2 battleships, while they've lost their only destroyer and one of their cruisers. But should be able to rectify the situation by taking out this Koenig. Looks like the Koenig did take a decent sized hit from our CV, and it looks like he is trying to focus me down. But when you do have the engine boost, the turning circle radius, or better yet, the rudder, yeah, the turning circle radius feels a little bit tighter, or maybe it's just because you're going so fast that you tend to turn a little bit quicker. But that's generally what I feel. But without that engine boost, she does feel like she's a little bit slow, and it looks like the Ruho does go down. Did I say Ruho on our team? I'm pretty certain I said Ruho. Maybe I said Independence. If I did, my bad. Alright, so the enemy team pretty much are just falling away. There's no point in chasing after ships that are doing this. You can see the enemy team is pushing quite heavily into A. They are pushing back a Omaha and a Cleveland. And we get 2 fires, which is pretty good. I have to say, the fire chance on the French cruisers are pretty decent. Especially if you put on those flags. They really do increase your fire chance. Now, keep an eye on this Colorado. This Colorado probably hated me during this battle. That is for sure. So, unfortunately for us, right now, our engine boost is on cooldown. So, it's going to be a little bit of time before we can actually get it back up and going. And we have just lost our Akatsuki to the enemy Königsberg, which is unfortunate. But now I am going to focus this near full health Colorado. Try to whittle him down. That's pretty much what you really want to be doing, is just getting those fires. You gotta love Wargaming and their love for cruisers with high fire chance. We've had, what, 3 lines with pretty good fire chance, and it looks like I've attracted the attention of the Colorado. Sitting there burning quite nicely. Obviously, the Colorado is a slower ship. Her guns are pretty decent, but at this range, you can see that dispersion just going all over the place, and should be able to dodge most of that salvo without any major cause of concern. So that is good. But right now, definitely would be nice to have the engine boost going. Definitely would make it a little bit more difficult to actually land those shells on us. But fortunately, luck, or better yet, RNGesus was in our favor. Still hoping for another fire. Definitely want to get that fire damage. We have just lost, or better yet, our Cleveland have just took out the enemy for Otaka, so that's one less ship we have to worry about. This Cleveland is being extremely ballsy right now. He has a Bayern and Kirov chase him, while our friendly Omaha is keeping his distance. And actually, I think he does survive this entire match. He survives this entire match with... I think he's actually somewhat low on health. It's not too bad, actually. But once again, kind of kiting away and just spewing HE is really what I feel like is the best strategy. Now, granted, it is more passive. Don't get me wrong. I like getting in close and having those close quarter battles, and I think the Algérie could do that. But with this, with all these battleships around, and kind of the meta right now is sometimes you see a lot of battleships, so keeping your distance and getting those fires are probably going to be your best bet. And for some reason, I don't know who's actually aiming at me. I think it might be the Bayern. It might be bringing his attention to me. It looks like that's the case. We do get a fire again on this Bayern. Hoping to burn him down as quick as possible. Yep, it does look like he has attracted his attention over to me. And fortunately for me, the Bayern's dispersion is German dispersion, so we should be able to negate most of that damage. Yep, we even ricocheted a shell, which is always good to see. Something you don't always get to see, but fortunately, that did occur. So, the enemy team is starting to fall. They've lost over half their team right now. We got another fire on this Bayern. This Bayern should go down here in just a moment, and it looks like we get the kill. So that is kill number 3, and we're sitting quite comfortably at 88,000 points of damage. Not too bad. Not too bad, but I think we can do a little bit better. This Colorado has stopped completely in the middle of the ocean. I think he's actually focusing his attention on the friendly Cleveland. Yes, it does look like that's the case. Cleveland is not a major threat. That's kind of one good thing about a USN cruiser whenever you're a battleship. They don't have torpedoes, so they can't deal at that big damage like some cruisers can with torpedoes. So fortunately for us, we have just lost our friendly Cleveland. We do have 2 caps to their 1, and as you can see, the points are really creeping up for us. And yeah, here I'm kind of doing a kill steal. I see a low health Kirov, and trying to land some shots. Unfortunately, went a little short. Let's see if we can actually finish him off. The high explosive damage is pretty decent. Should be able to take out this Kirov if we do land 2 or 3 shells. That works. 3 shells, fire that was not entirely necessary, and kill number 4. So we are actually 1 kill away from Kraken Unleashed, and the closest ship right now is that Colorado, and the Colorado just took a big hit. I'm guessing probably from the friendly Congo. And this Omaha is still kicking it. Go player. Wait. I don't know if that's somebody I'm thinking it is, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just someone that really did not figure out a name. But I'm thinking it's someone else. Anyways, moving back, this Colorado's burning quite nicely. Burning very nicely. Switched over to armor piercing, and armor piercing actually does pretty good. 3,000 points of damage right there. Now the Colorado is sitting at 609 points of damage. The Omaha is firing. Colorado opens up. I got a little greedy, but fortunately we do get kill number 5, Kraken Unleashed, plus we took a Citadel. But there's no more time in this game. There are only 2 ships on the enemy team, and it's an Independence and a Cleveland. So all that's right now pretty much is going to be mopping up. We've captured the C cap, or the A cap, better yet. That's actually an A, not a C. So yeah, not really much left for us right now. Just took out the Cleveland. So let's go ahead, take a look at the victory screen. So our team earned a victory. We brought home 288,216 silver, 5,142 XP, and we earned Kraken Unleashed, which was actually rather surprising that I didn't earn Confederate High Caliber looking at the damage. 109,947 points of damage, 133 shell hits, 5 plane shot downs, 5 kills, 13 fires, which is nice to see, and 1 lonely little Citadel. We earned second on the team with a base XP of 1,672, and I don't know who this Omaha player is. Maybe I'm thinking this is something completely different. I'm kind of thinking it was Flamu. I know Flamu does show up. I think I've had actually 1 battle with Flamu on my team, but obviously his username is not Flamu. It's actually something different. I think it's like renamed user something, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just nothing. Maybe I'm just thinking too much into it. Damage wise, as far as the ships, 45,910 points of damage against that Colorado. Once again, he probably hated us a lot. 9,797 against that Bayern, 2,000 against the Bliskovica, 2,000 against the Kirov, and 60 points of damage against that Pensacola. Yeah, that wasn't technically a kill steal. My shells were in the air before that Pensacola took the hit, but when they landed, we got the kill. So main batteries, 63,316 was done with high explosive. Armor piercing did a lowly 11,000, but even against a broadside battleship, you see that they actually can penetrate, especially against that Colorado, got around 3,000. So if needs be, you can actually use armor piercing, probably deal more damage more quickly than high explosive. Our fire damage was around 35,159, and overall, I don't want to say I'm gonna miss this ship. I'm gonna kind of miss it, but I'm definitely looking forward to the Charles Martel. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly as well. Anyways, let's quickly hop into the port and take a look at her stats. See you there. Alright everyone, welcome back to the port with the Algérie, and this ship's pretty decent. I will have to say she can throw her weight around. She's not the most powerful tier 7 cruiser there is, that all hands down is the Miyoko, but she still has that fire potential. She can put out the pain, especially if she is left alone. She is a great support ship, and she's does a very good job, as you saw in the replay, of kiting and almost constantly kiting, especially with that engine boost. Really is beneficial, but overall not too bad. So actually, let's go ahead and take a look at the stats. Survivability, pretty decent, 35,600. It's not the highest, I believe. Once again, the Miyoko actually has the highest damage health. There is 39,200. So not the highest, but she kind of sits in that middle range. Obviously, I believe the Fiji actually has the worst as far as health is concerned. Her armor is pretty decent, 16,210 millimeters. Not too bad. Torpedo protection is 16%. Not that extravagant, but that's kind of normal what you see on these tier 7 cruisers. Her main guns are decent. Her main issue is her reload time. Reload time is 12 seconds. You do have 4 turrets, 2 guns each, with 203 millimeters. They have, once again, a 12-second reload time, and that does take a little bit of time to get used to. Although French cruisers overall, as far as going up from tier 4 and up, they have that very slow reload time, so that is something to keep in mind. Turn time on the guns are 23.4 seconds. Dispersion is 146 meters at 17.9 kilometers. Her HE's not too bad, 2,800. But her fire chance is really where it's at, 18% fire chance. I do have a few flags on it, so that's not the base fire percent chance, but that's still pretty decent. Her AP damage is 4,800, as you saw against that Königsberg. Pretty decent. Definitely does that damage. Once again, her range is 17.9 kilometers, and her shells do have some loftiness to them, but definitely not as bad as the USN. They can get to target, just not that quickly as, say, the Miyoko or the Stores. So that is something to keep in mind. You do have 6 secondary guns. They are dual turrets each, 100 millimeters. They have a 4-second reload time, 14,000, good lord, 1,400 per 1,400 points of damage with a 8.5% fire chance and a 4.7 kilometer range. But if your secondaries are starting to open up, you're probably a little bit too close, because the Algérie is more of a, once again, support ship, and that's sitting a little bit further back. So yeah, don't always want to get that close whenever you are in a fight. You want to keep that distance and allow your speed and somewhat maneuverability, especially with that consumable, to keep you out of harm's way. Now, her torpedoes are almost exactly the same. They have a 90-second reload, 14,833 points of damage, 9-kilometer range, and you only have 2 triple turrets. So nothing too extravagant. They can be somewhat beneficial, but not your main damage dealing component of a ship, of this ship. AA defense is all right, pretty. It's decent. It will get you out of harm's way, especially if you run a madness. You have 6 dual 25 millimeters, 34 average damage, and 3.1 kilometer. Then you have 4 dual 37 millimeters. Average damage is 48. Firing range is 3.5 kilometers. And then your secondaries operate as additional AA. Average damage is 41 at a 5-kilometer range. But once again, AA madness is going to be your saving grace, because French cruisers aren't very well known for their AA. It's not the worst thing in the world, but Definitely not the best. Maneuverability. Now, here's kind of the twist, obviously, with the French cruisers is they act like two different types of beast, with and without the engine boost. So starting off, she's the slowest as the tier 7 cruisers are concerned. 31 knots. 660 meters is about average, and rudder shift times not too bad, 7.6. But the Miyoko does have a better rudder shift time, but not as tight a turning circle radius. So she's kind of average, I would say. You definitely want to keep a little bit further back. But going back to the engine boost, with the engine boost, she actually becomes the fastest tier 7 cruiser around. So, and she also handles a little bit better as far as turns are concerned. But when you do make a turn with these French cruisers, you do lose quite a bit of speed. But that turn does allow you to at least possibly dodge shells, as you did see in the replay. So something to keep in mind when you are playing French cruisers. Concealment's 11.8. I believe the Miyoko is a little bit lower at 11.6. Yes, overall not too bad. But she's actually less, or has a smaller detectability by air compared to the Miyoko's 7.2, while the Algérie has 7.1. So about average. I wouldn't say she's the most easily detected ship, but she's not the worst. So, or she's not the best either. Probably is a better way of saying that. But moving on to the upgrades, there's actually not a lot for upgrades. For the tier 7, you have the main thing. This is probably what I would recommend getting first, is the range increase. This will bring it out to 17.9 from 16.3. Highly recommend get this first. You want that additional range just so you're more able to dodge shots if shots or salvos are coming your way. Then obviously get the upgrade to your B-hole. With this B-hole, you get additional health. You get 5,900. You get additional AA mounts, and your rudder shift time actually decreases by 3.1. So definitely beneficial getting that B-hole, especially for that rudder shift time. Very beneficial. Nothing much has changed, though I probably don't know if I actually pointed this out when I first got her. This may be actually a more recent thing. I did switch out one of the modules. So in the third slot, I went for engine boost modification 1. Now this is a special upgrade that you can only get if you get a super container when you're collecting containers from your XP. This will increase the action time of the engine boost module by 50%. And so this is going to allow you to go zip around a lot quicker for a lot longer than normal. Obviously, major issue is the steering gears. You generally still lose that steering gear, as you did see in the replay, but very beneficial. I almost recommend it on the French cruiser line. Definitely allows you to stay active and more harder to actually nail down, but overall not too bad. Captain wise, nothing really has changed. Still recommend priority target, knowing when someone is targeting you. I kind of want to say get last stand. This might prove beneficial. If I have 2 extra points, I can't think of anything else. I might get last stand, but we'll see as the later tiers go. Obviously, expert marksman increases the turning of your turrets. Superintendent, especially for that engine boost, very, very nice to have. Demolition expert, as you saw what I did to that Colorado, having this ability to cause more fires, always a good thing. And then concealment expert. There are possibly a few things I can think of right off the top of my head. Maybe jack of all trades, just so you can get the engine boost back off cooldown a little bit quicker. This reduces obviously by 5%. A few other things I could possibly think of is increasing your AA with basics firing training or advanced firing training. Both would prove beneficial in later tiers, especially with what's coming up with a possible change in dive bomber shells, switching from HE to AP. with the US, and we'll see if that actually goes into play. So might prove beneficial, especially in higher tiers. So we'll see on that. But overall, not too bad. But I am actually going to say goodbye to the Algérie. I'm definitely looking forward to moving on to the next tier. Hopefully it will continually getting better and better as we go. We'll see. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.